Hope you enjoy this Naruto and High School DxD story. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for the next chapter. The Otsutsuki clan, the ancient clan that originated from another world and traveled to the elemental nations. The war-torn land would soon have the peace that it graciously desired. The one to bring the peace would be none other than the matriarch of the Otsutsuki clan, Kagaya Otsutsuki, the rabbit goddess. Consuming the fruit of the Shinju, she became the first user of chakra, the energy that shinobi would later on incorporate for warfare. Bringing peace to the lands, the goddess would soon give birth to two sons, Hagoromo Otsutsuki and Himura Otsutsuki. The two sons would go on and try to bring peace among the people in their own way. Hagoromo would go on to teach the civilians the ways of Nishu in hopes of bringing peace. Himura would succeed his mother and become the new clan head and ruled the clan as the patriarch and moved the clan to the moon. Kagaya, due to being the one that ate the fruit, her life was extended to an extent in which it was as if she was immortal. Kagaya had sealed herself off. The decision Hagoromo made angered her, and the rabbit goddess, after witnessing the aftermath of her foolish son's decision. The humans forgot his teachings and soon used the power of chakra for war. Her nursery had been ruined. Himura Otsutsuki had passed on with his teachings, which would soon become the celestial decree. Passing on, misinterpretation of the decree ignited a civil war between the clan, and without knowledge of the matriarch of the clan's location, they fought. When Kagaya awoke from her sealed state, she arrived to a battle between the last of the main family and the branch family. Stopping the battle, the goddess enraged demanded the leaders of the families to stand before her. Demanding answers, her Byakugan activated and the veins surrounding her two eyes added to the intimidating effect. Both heads gave her their respective answers and her rage was driven further. Her people were fighting because of her son's foolish decree. It was time for them to leave this cursed land. Her people suffered, they fought among themselves for the betterment of those mindless savages. It was time they returned home. Kagaya ordered her people to prepare for travel once more. It was time they returned to their world. Kagaya moved to the bottom of the castle that her people had moved the transportation machine. The walls shone with seals as they opened up and the machine was visible. Making her way to the machine, the lights flashed on and soon the entire room was illuminated. Power coursed through the machine as a portal soon opened up and Kagaya looked at it for a few seconds before making her way towards the portal and soon she disappeared. The clan had instructions to follow her back home and they would rise up in power once more. Kagaya was sitting in the clan compound located in Japan. It had been a few years since they had moved back and now the Otsutsuki clan was the most influential family in all of Japan, and to blend in with the new era, Kagaya had established the Otsutsuki Industries. Otsutsuki Industries quickly became one of the most influential company in the world with amazing new advances in technology and medicine. It was amazing what chakra could be used for, but the fact that she created a company for her clan was simply for the family to gain some money. The Otsutsuki clan did not have much from before, but now with chakra in their bodies they could now stand at the top of their group. The Otsutsuki clan were a group of half-demons, though they do not know which demon their other half was. They now possessed one of the greatest powers that the other world could offer. Chakra. With chakra they could access senjutsu and utilize their magic with the chakra, then they would no longer be at the bottom of the food chain. Kagaya was very happy with the results as she gave birth to another son. This one she swore to herself that she would mold him into the perfect clan head. The name of her third child was Naruto. Though it had two meanings. One was the topping for ramen known as Naruto or fish cake, and lastly the true meaning of the name. Maelstrom, a storm that would cause chaos and destruction in its wake. Her son would be that. He would be the one to cause destruction to the enemies of the clan. For her plan to work, she began the young Otsutsuki's training once he began reading. By giving the boy knowledge and literature, she was able to begin the boy's training in the art of sealing as soon as possible. Fuinjutsu was one of the greatest things they had created for combat, as they were not as powerful as some demons. But with chakra they were able to take it to the next level. The art of sealing was the rite of passage for all members of the clan. The training of her third son reached new heights as the boy worked on strengthening his body and working in the art of sealing. The boy was intelligent for his age, oh yes. When it came to seals he was a prodigy like no other. But when it came to academics, he lacked the drive to learn such things, as he dubbed it as useless. Though he still managed to learn the necessary subjects in the world's educational system for him to attend high school. That was not all he had taught the blonde. Kagaya desired her child to become one of the strongest, able to stand up to the other factions. This she chose to train her child how to utilize chakra. The new source of power for the entire Otsutsuki clan. They had not been able to wield it before. But now with the fruit eaten the amazing powers were passed evenly among the clan. In the use of chakra, the heir to the Otsutsuki clan was taught all the mother knew and the knowledge the entire clan had acquired from the other world. Due to her son's foolishness, the humans were able to change the use of Nishu to ninjutsu. They had changed the idea of chakra into one of war, and so they began developing ways to kill one and another. Though not good for their end, The Otsutsuki clan benefited from the humans' idiotic actions, and due to that they had expanded their knowledge of combat and warfare to new levels. With that, they were able to create new techniques and improve weaker ones the shinobi of the human world created. The ways of warfare flourished alongside the humans as they utilized the gift of peace and turned it a weapon for warfare. Ironic, her son was truly foolish to believe they were able to be contained by simply beliefs. Kaguya knew her son was too trusting, and thus the humans took her son's good intentions and turned it around. The Otsutsuki clan now held power among the yokai. With the new source of power, their influence and position among the yokai skyrocketed, and now were just about or were more influential than Yasaka herself. Kaguya held more power than the nine-tailed fox that she could easily destroy her with a single technique. The newly gained powers from the fruit had made Kaguya one of the strongest beings in existence. Or maybe the strongest. Her powers could destroy worlds and recreate them just as fast, and along with creation and destruction, she could kill immortals, or claimed she could. The power of one of her most prized techniques, the truth-seeking balls, allowed her to destroy anything those spheres touched and turn it to ash. The new range of powers that she held now made her one of the most feared individuals in the entire world. The other factions took notice to the amount of power a single yokai clan now held and began planning to deal with them. But they questioned if they could. The power that woman displayed by simply transporting some of the braver members of the three factions into a completely different dimension and destroying it with her massive truth-seeking balls. The sheer power she displayed struck fear into every faction, and thus they did what anything would do. The factions all did what anyone would. They tried to befriend the goddess. Not that it worked, but her son was another problem. The best way to befriend a powerful clan. Naruto Otsutsuki, heir to the Otsutsuki clan and son of Kaguya Otsutsuki. The rabbit goddess now turned the age of 17. The clan heir had sun-kissed spiky blonde hair and two side bangs that framed his face. His hair matched his ocean blue eyes well, but the most prominent feature was the boy's whisker marks on his face. The blonde was tall for his age, and he was dressed in a simple high-collared kimono with the Otsutsuki clan symbol on the back and a pair of loose black pants, and to complete the outfit was a pair of boots. Naruto continued to wait for his mother to arrive as he looked around the room for anything to kill the time with. But before he could even think of something, the sliding doors opened and a beautiful woman walked into the room. The woman had pale skin and long white hair that reached down to her waist. With a pair of lavender eyes, and the most shocking feature she possessed was the pair of horns on top of her head. This was none other than Kaguya Otsutsuki, the matriarch of the clan and one of the most powerful beings in existence. And also his mother. Sitting down, the woman looked over at the blonde with a calculative gaze before she opened her mouth to speak. "Naruto-kun, I believe it is time for you to make some contact with the other factions," Kaguya said as she continued to look at the blonde for a reaction. "Eh? But why, Ka-chan, do I have to meet the other factions?" Naruto questioned as he gave his mother a questioning look. "I met the Yukai faction, isn't that enough?" "No. The Yukai are not considered a faction as there are only 3. Kaguya explained as she never removed her gaze from her youngest child. "You will be attending a school that is being run by devils. Make contact with them and see how powerful this generation of devils are." "Understood, Ka-chan," Naruto said in defeat as he began making his way out of the room before he stopped and turned to face his mother with a grin on his face. "Ka-chan, if I'm going to school then can I dash?" "No. You didn't even let me finish, Ka-chan. Your lunch will not be ramen." Naruto just grumbled as he made his way out of the room and walked towards his own room. He was going to change for the new school. Going in a kimono would just attract unwanted attention from the people there. Passing some other clan members, they bowed in respect as Naruto greeted them in kind, but he was still bummed out about attending school. Academics and him did not get along as he despised learning with a passion, as he hated sitting still and listened to a man lecture them about a subject. He refused to, but if he did his mother would be unhappy. And if his mother was unhappy his life would not be a happy one. So he decided to endure it and go to school anyways. He could just study with shadow clones if he was stuck on something. That technique the shinobi from the other world created was amazing. It could do so much for him. The uniform for the school was acceptable, but no orange in any of it, so it was a complete downside. His outfit now consisted of a black blazer with white accents over a white, long-sleeved dress shirt with a ribbon on the collar, matching black pants and brown dress shoes. Grumbling the entire time, the blonde walked out of the clan compound with a servant following closely behind, holding his bag filled with the necessary books and other materials for school. Grabbing it from him as he got into the waiting car, the blonde motioned for the car to go, and the driver did as instructed and began driving to the destination given to him. The car ride was short as it did not take over 10 minutes. As they were driving around the streets of Ko City, they had passed some students who were looking at the car curiously as it moved towards the direction of the school. Arriving at Ko Academy, the car had already attracted some attention as the driver hurried out of the car and opened the door for the blonde passenger. Walking outside with his bag in hand, the blonde looked at the school that he would be attending. It wasn't a very impressive building as he had seen better, but it was an above-average school. That was all he would be saying about it. Making his way forward and ignoring the looks of curiosity from the other students, he walked past all of the students and headed towards the main building. Though he ignored the things that they spoke were easily picked up by him. Naruto kept moving and headed inside the office. His destination was his first class. Naruto knew that his actions reflected upon the clan itself. That was one of the reasons why he had to show the students and staff that he was among the higher class. After all, that was what his clan was classified as, one of the most powerful families in all of Japan, and having major influence in the other countries with some major power. He did not wish to make a fool of himself and have the clan be affected by that, nor did he wish for his mother to lose face. That would not end well for him. Knocking on the door, he opened it up and poked his head in. As the teacher caught sight of him, his eyes widened slightly, remembering something. The teacher pushed up his glasses and reached down to the paper on his desk as he read something off of it, and beckoned him in. Walking in, Naruto stood facing the entire class with a slight smile on his face as all eyes were on him. "Class, please let me introduce you to our new student, Naruto Otsutsuki. Treat him well," the teacher announced as he beckoned for him to introduce himself. Naruto nodded at the gesture and turned his attention to the class once more. His slight smile turned into an actual one. "Hello, I am Naruto Otsutsuki. It is very nice to meet you all." Naruto began as he continued to smile and took a slight bow before speaking once more. "Please take care of me, everyone. He's so handsome. Those whisker marks are so cute. Damn, not another blonde bastard. Now how am I supposed to get a harem now? Pretty boys are popping up out of nowhere." Naruto continued to smile pleasantly as he heard the reactions from various students. It was really enjoyable to hear. He really needed to spend more time with mortals. They were really entertaining. That, or he needed to find another hobby instead of spending all of his time training. It was hard not to train though. He wanted to reach his mother's level. That would take a while. He knew his mother was the one who taught him the various techniques, and he did spend a good portion of his life in the other world. The elemental nations helped him improve and grow. His control and use of chakra reached a new level there. There he was able to tap in senjutsu, one of powerful forms of magic that Yukai could access. That was one of the abilities he had inherited from his mother. Not only that, but he was able to negate the effect of senjutsu's use, the possible loss of control. By becoming one with nature through a different means other than magic, he replaced it with chakra. It was amazing how powerful he became in the form. Though he was not able to stand up to his mother, he was still powerful enough to handle himself in the world of dragons. "Naruto-san, please take a seat by Issei-san," the teacher directed as he pointed to the boy sitting near the front by a few of his friends. The boy had short brown hair and light brown eyes, around average height for a 17-year-old. He wore the uniform. But he kept the dress shirt open and he wore a red t-shirt underneath, and instead of the brown dress shoes he replaced them with a pair of white and blue sneakers. Naruto complied as he made his way towards the boy and sat beside him. Noticing that he was being stared at by Issei and the other two that sat around the general area, he decided it would be best to introduce himself. "How do you do, Issei-san?" Naruto asked with a smile as he offered a hand to the brunette, who seemed to be conflicted but took the hand nonetheless. "It's so hard to hate him," Issei cried as he turned the other direction facing his two friends, and tears ran down his face. Seeing the blonde give another friendly smile, he cried harder. "He's just like Kiba," Issei thought. Rias Gremory, the daughter of Lord Gremory and Venelana Gremory, former Bail heiress to the Gremory clan and an high-class devil, she was part of one of the clans that treated her peerage members as family, though it was a frowned-upon way of thinking. They were renowned for it. Rias was a beautiful young woman with white skin, blue eyes and a buxom figure. Her most distinctive feature was her long, beautiful crimson hair that reached down to her thighs. A single strand stuck out from the top, and loose bangs covering her forehead, and side bangs framing her face. She was sitting in the student council room playing a match of chess with her childhood friend, Sona Citri. Sona had the appearance of a young bespectacled woman in her late teens with a slim figure, and her black hair styled in a bob cut. The two enjoyed competing against each other, so playing games was the best for now, as they could hardly do any raiding games. Rias moved her queen as she turned to look at her childhood friend. "Sona, what do you think about the new student?" Rias asked as she continued looking at her friend and waited for her to answer. "Naruto Otsutsuki, heir to the Otsutsuki clan, son of Kagaya Otsutsuki, one of the most powerful beings in existence. Feared among all three of the factions, and is well known for his use of the special energy that the Otsutsuki clan possess, chakra," Sona replied as she moved one of her pieces and waited for her rival and friend to take her turn. During the entire she did not even look up from the chessboard. "Have you sent the information of Naruto-san attending our school to Serafal-sama yet?" Rias asked as she thought out her next move. Yes, I have sent a letter to Wanisama. She was frantic when she heard the son of the rabbit goddess was attending Kuo. Sona said with her face blank. Oni-sama reacted the same way. He was about to send Grafia over to watch over me. Rias chuckled slightly. Rias, Naruto Otsutsuki is no joke. If he is anything like his mother, then he could easily destroy us with a snap of his fingers. Sona warned her rival as she took her eyes off of the board and looked over at the red head. I know Sona, but I can't help but think that if I can somehow get him to either join my peerage or maybe help me in some way. Rias replied with a sigh as she leaned back and had a frown form on her delicate face. I do not wish to marry Riser, and I will get out of the marriage. That is foolish, Rias. The Otsutsuki clan is one clan that we do not involve ourselves with unless we desire death. They have the power to destroy the devil faction, and even if we do not cause such a situation in which they desire to destroy the devil race, we will not be spared from the 72 pillars. Sona said with a grim look on her face. It was true. The Otsutsuki clan now held the most power as they were led by one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful being in existence, and their clan all had the ability of using Jujutsu, and a new form of energy they have not faced before, chakra. Do you think they could do it? Rias asked out of curiosity. Yes, from what Wanisama said, they witnessed Kagaya Otsutsuki transport them into another world and destroy it with a sphere of darkness that turned everything to ash. Sona informed as she leaned back as well. They are a powerful clan, Rias. It is best we befriend them. If we do not, then if they turn on us we will face near extinction. Then I guess I'll have to train these Seikuin and the rest of my peerage for the upcoming raiding game then. Rias said in defeat, though she wanted Naruto Otsutsuki to be in her peerage. The power that Sona told her that he and his clan possessed left an unsettling feeling in her. That clan had enough power to wipe out an entire faction with ease, as seen from the demonstration of power from the current head of the clan. It was truly shocking that one single clan possessed so much power. The clouds were something Naruto enjoyed watching, as it allowed him to think about issues in life he faced. Though it was boring at first when he had tried it with one of his friends in the elemental nations, he quickly realized why his friend did it. With that knowledge in mind, he too used it as a way to think, and to speak the truth it worked. He was able to relax and think clearly, one of the things he could hardly do with others around or when he was doing any other activity. The current issue he was thinking of was about a promise he had made to his childhood friend. When he was younger, his mother had gotten him the best tutors that money could buy to help him in academics. While he worked in academics in the evening, he was taught by his mother herself in the ways that chakra could be used for. Learning ways to utilize the energy within his body. During this time they had a discovery that pleased Kagaya. Due to the intense training from his mother, he discovered his affinities, as they called it. Fire, water, wind, earth, lightning, yin, yang and yin-yang. With those affinities, he would be able to create life and destroy it in an instant, much like his mother. His childhood friend was someone he had met a while ago, when his mother had decided to make some connections with some of the other gods and maybe some Buddhas. Her mother had decided to meet with the Norse gods, her meeting with Odin, the chief deity of the Norse gods. During that meeting, Naruto had escaped from the sight of his caretaker and explored around the realm of Asgard. There he had met a young girl around his age by the name of Rosweiss. The girl had hair that resembled his mother's very much. Though she had hair like his mother's, she was odd for a girl so young to be so serious. Their personalities clashed and it was not pretty, though in the end they had made up. Naruto still thought of her being too serious, and the girl in return thought of him as too carefree and laid back. But they got past it, and soon they hit it off as friends, with Naruto persuading her into doing some unfavorable actions such as doing pranks. Though she strongly disagreed with the blonde's actions, she could not help but enjoy herself during the time she spent doing pranks with the blonde Otsutsuki. But all good things came to an end, and on the final day they had spent most of the day with each other. In the end they had promised to see each other once again, though Naruto had little time to head to Asgard as he had no business with them. He could persuade his mother to meet with Odin once more, but due to the other god's rather perverted side, she avoided that of all places. When the meetings came to an end, Odin seemed to sport bruises and lumps all over his body from unknown sources, but Naruto had the feeling it was his mother's actions. Then again it was the perverted god's fault for ogling his mother. It ended pretty badly for him. Naruto sat on the Victorian-style couch as he looked at the people around him. He was in a wood-paneled room with Victorian-style furniture, and a large bath in the side of the room, and the Gremry family symbol in the side of the room as well. He had arrived at the old building that the Occult Research Club used as a club room, and he was surprised that one of the smallest clubs could use the building further from the main school as a club room. The building was a 3-story tall building with the 3rd story serving as a clock tower. It was painted white with black tiles and vines creeping around the side. Around him were Rias Gremry's peerage members. He had gotten an invitation to meet with the club a little while back and decided why not. It was something that his mother desired him to do. The number of people surrounding him totaled in 6, with one of them being Rias herself. Akino Himejima, the queen of the peerage, had the appearance of a young woman with a buxom figure around the same age as Rias, with long straight black hair tied in a long ponytail, and violet eyes. Her ponytail reached down to her legs with 2 strands sticking out from the top and sloping backwards, with the orange ribbon holding it in place. She wore the Ko Academy girls' uniform, but she had knee-high socks with the uniform as well. She was one of the 2 great ladies of Ko Academy, a title she shared with Rias. Kaneko Tuju, one of Rias's rooks, was around the age of 15 with white hair and hazel eyes. The front of her hair has 2 long bangs going past her shoulders and several loose bangs hanging over her forehead, while the back of her head had a bob cut. And on her hair she wore 2 cat-shafted hair clips on both sides. Like the other girls, she wore the Ko girls' uniform but without the cape. Though she didn't say it, he knew she was an Ikomoto, one of the rarest species of Ikai in the world, and that struck his curiosity on how a girl like Rias could have one in her peerage. And in the school she was known as the mascot, odd but it fit in his opinion. Asia Argento, one of Rias's bishop around Issei's age, with blonde hair and green eyes. Her blonde hair flowed down to her back with split bangs over her forehead, and a single strand sticking out from the top, sloping backwards. She, like Kaneko, wore the girl's uniform as well. Yudo Kiba, the knight of Rias Gremory. He was a handsome young man with short blonde hair, gray eyes and a mole under his left eye. Kiba wore the boy's uniform that Naruto was wearing. He had made no changes to the attire. He was titled as the Prince of Ko, but with Naruto's arrival he was dubbed as one of the 2 princes now. It was odd how fast titles and such were spread around, in a school no less. Issei Hayate, the only pawn of Rias Gremory and the current possessor of the boosted gear. Issei was around the age of 17 with short brown hair and light brown eyes and standing at average height. He wore the boy's uniform, though the dress shirt was unbuttoned and his red t-shirt could be seen. Though he was surprised slightly that Rias had the Red Dragon Emperor in her peerage, he did not spare him another glace, as he was dubbed as the weakest one in history. "Welcome to the Occult Research Club, Naruto-san," Rias greeted as she gave the blonde a smile, in which he returned. "Sona would be here to greet you as well, but she had issues to attend to." "Oh, no worries. Now I must ask why I am here," Naruto questioned as he took a sip of the tea that Akino had placed before him. He worried little of poison, as it had no effect on him due to his body's amazing healing abilities. "I am going to be blunt here, Naruto-san, but why are you here?" Rias questioned with a polite smile on her face, but Naruto could tell that the girl was nervous from the slight shift of movement when he had questioned her from before. She decided to elaborate, though she highly doubted that it was needed. "It is rather strange the heir to the most powerful clan is attending a school in my territory." "Ah, well, you see," Naruto began as he took another sip, and a small smile formed on his face. "Ka-chan wanted me to have more experience with the 3 factions, so here I am, in a school run by devils. And also Ka-chan won't be able to stop me from eating ramen here." "I see," Rias muttered as her mind began forming some sort of way of asking the blonde before her for help in her predicament. Though she did wonder about the ramen part, she ignored it in favor of her previous thoughts. "Akino, what is Naruto-san doing here?" Issei asked as he leaned closer to the vice president of the club. He was trying to ask without alerting the blonde. "And how does he know we are devils?" "Issei-kun, Naruto-sama is part of a powerful clan," Akino began explaining as she whispered to the perverted teen. "His mother is also one of the most powerful beings in the world. Issei-kun, Naruto-sama has enough influence to kill us without any consequences, so please treat him with respect." The words shocked Issei to the core as he looked at the blonde who was sipping tea with wide eyes. The teen before him, who he thought as a pretty boy had that much power and influence that he could simply kill off someone such as Rias without consequences, was shocking to say the least. Though he had a perverted mind, he was no fool. The room suddenly lighted up with a light, and a magic circle appeared, and soon in a flash of light a group of people appeared. The group was filled with all women except for the person in front, who was a handsome young man in his early 20s with short blonde hair and blue eyes. He wore an outfit consisting of a burgundy blazer with gold embroidery on the right with matching pants, and black dress shoes. Under the blazer was a white dress shirt not fully buttoned, giving view of his chest. The man was none other than Riser Phoenix himself, 3rd son of Lord Phoenix and Rias Gremory's fiancé. Not long after, another magic circle appeared, this time in red, and a single figure appeared. It was a beautiful woman appearing in her 20s with silver hair and matching eyes. Her hair, which flowed all the way down to her back, featured a long braid on both sides with small blue bows at the ends, while the rest is let down and ending in twin braids. She wore an outfit of a blue and white French-made outfit with long sleeves and a white-made headband over her head, with red lipstick on her lips. This was Graphia Lucifuge, the queen and wife of Sirzex Lucifer. "Rias, how good it is to see you again," Riser spoke in a loud and arrogant tone as he spread his arms wide open as he approached her. He noticed the blonde sitting in the opposite seat of his fiancée and looked at him with the same arrogant look that he wore around. "And who might you be?" Naruto did not answer right away as he drank a bit more of the tea and placed the cup down, and gave a small sigh and turned to Akino with a smile on his face. "Akino-san, thank you for the tea, it was a pleasant refreshment." Akino took a small bow and spoke. "Thank you, Naruto-sama." "How dare you ignore me!" Riser screamed in utter rage at the seated blonde. What hurt his pride more was that the blonde before him had an above-average pool of magic in him, so it was most likely one of Rias's new peerage members, and yet he dared to insult him. "Do you know who I am, you reincarnated scum? I am Riser Phoenix, third son of Lord Phoenix. You should be honored that I even spoke to you. You do not interest me, please refrain from speaking to your betters in such a tone," Naruto said with an annoyed look on his face as he turned to face the other blonde in the room. One type of person he hated the most were arrogant people. It is better for dogs to know when to bark and when to keep their mouths shut. After all, dogs who follow the master's commands do live longer. Riser-sama, control yourself. Grafia intruded as she tried to calm down the Phoenix before he did something foolish. "Naruto-sama, in Surzak-sama's honor, please do not provoke Riser-sama any longer." "Very well then," Naruto replied finally as his face now sported a pleasant smile on his face. Riser bit his tongue as he saw Grafia send a glare in his direction. Though he did not wish to take the insult silently, he did not want to anger the strongest queen either. Riser could not think correctly as his mind was filled with rage. Oh, did he wish to attack the blonde, but it would be disastrous if he did. Though he knew little of who the blonde was, he did not care. He was a member of the Phoenix family, one of the 72 pillars of the underworld, and he would have his revenge on the blonde. "Naruto-sama, I did not expect you to be here, but as of now it is a meeting between the Gremory and Phoenix families." Grafia spoke calmly. "The marriage between Rias-sama and Riser-sama must be set." "Ah, I see, I am unwanted here," Naruto responded as he sat up and made his way towards the doors leading to the halls of the building before he stopped and looked at Riser. "Dog, the next time we meet I expect you to learn who your betters are. It is only right that the weak shall bow before the strong, is it not? Are you calling me weak?" Riser hissed, his eyes narrowed and full of rage as his peerage gathered around him and readied their weapons and magic. "I am Dash. Yes, I know of your family," Naruto replied dismissively without even batting an eyelash. "But I am surprised that weaklings such as yourself may spawn in such a clan. You better watch yourself," Riser said as he sent a glare at the other blonde. "I don't care who you are, but no one insults Riser Phoenix and gets away with it. You devils throw around your name like it means something, how arrogant." Naruto chuckled as he turned to leave the room, but Riser simply lost himself to rage and sent a wave of fire towards the blonde. "Riser-sama, no!" Grafia yelled in horror as she saw the fire consume the other blonde. She did not fear the fire would harm Naruto, she just feared the consequences of such action against the otsutsuki heir no less. The fire vanished from Naruto, and he did not seem to be hurt in the slightest. The blonde did not even seem to be bothered from the attack. After all, it was his intention for Riser to lose himself and attack him. He saw a chance and took it for the betterment of the clan. By provoking the arrogant and egoistic Phoenix, he hoped to be attacked by High, and he did. Now with the political power he held against Riser for the attack, he now gained a resource for the clan. Naruto vanished in a flurry of sakura petals, leaving behind a group of shocked devils. Chapter end.